This is lesson 5 of the tutorials to teach you how to use Fusion 360. Today we're going to be concentrating on a few different skills, building on the ones that have gone before. I'm going to be showing you how to chamfer. I'm going to be showing you how to draw and create a circular pattern, so copy things in a circle. And we're going to be creating something similar to what you see in front of you here. So I'm going to be creating this watch face. Now, what I want to draw your attention to today is this section down the bottom. Okay, so this section down the bottom has all of your actions that you do. And if you want to have a look into any of these separate actions and make edits or change into any actions, or you do something wrong, you can click on them down the bottom. So that's an extrude, that's a sketch. Okay, and you can see all the different things that have actually been done. Okay, so that's my chamfer, which we're going to be talking about later. And what's quite good is that you can actually, if you push the play button, you can see exactly how I made this watch just by clicking on the play button. So whenever you do that, you don't have to go hunting around. You can find all the different actions that you've created over the whole project that you've been doing. Right, so how to get started. We're going to, same as you've done lots and lots of times, we're going to create a new design. And we're going to start off, we want our watch face to be circular. So I'm going to sketch a circle by clicking C on my keypad. And then I'm going to do it from the top plane. So I'm going to click on my top plane and then I'm going to draw a circle. So I'm going to start in the middle of my page here, the center point, and I'm going to draw myself a circle. And I'm going to make that circle 50 millimeters. Okay, so click enter, and there's the start of my watch face. So now what I need to do is I need to make that into a 3D object, and we should know by now that we do that by extruding. So we're going to click E on the keyboard and select the surface that I want to extrude. Now I'm going to pull this up to 4 millimeters, and this is going to be the main body of the watch that you are creating. So 4 millimeters, enter, and there is the main body of the watch. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw the outside part. This is where the face of the watch is going to be, so I'm going to draw this outside part here. So I'm going to select the surface I want to draw on, and I'm going to create a circle, and I'm just going to bring it back to the center of the screen by pushing F6 and then zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to create another circle, and I want that circle to be 48, so slightly smaller than the one we've just drawn, 48 millimeters. Okay, so give me sort of a little bit of an edge around the outside. Click enter and enter again. Now I want another circle inside that, and we're going to build like a tube, if you like. I'm going to raise that up slightly to then have the glass on top to give all the room for all of our numbers and our hands of our watch later on. So again, circle, and I'm going to make this one slightly smaller than the one before. Okay, so the last one was 48, so I'm going to make this one 42. Okay, so what we've got there is we've just drawn two circles on the top of our watch face, like so. And I'm going to extrude that. So I'm going to click E on my keyboard, and then I want to pull this part up. So I'm just going to click on the ring. I'm not going to select the inside part there. And I'm just going to pull this up, and I also want this to come up 4 millimeters. So that will give me an 8 millimeter thick watch. Okay, so this is why I want to show you a sort of new skill. Everything you've just seen has you've probably seen before. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a chamfer on one of these edges to make it look angled. A chamfer basically means taking off a diagonal slice. So what I want you to do is I want you to go up to the modify box at the top. I want you to click on chamfer, and you can see here it explains applies a beveled edge to one or more edges. Okay, so I'm going to click on chamfer, and then I'm going to what it wants to know is what do I want to chamfer. So I'm going to select the edge I want to chamfer, and then I've got some choices in my chamfer box over here. I can either do a two distance chamfer, that means a certain distance in one direction and then a certain distance down. Or I can do equal distance, or I can do distance and angle. So if you wanted to do a 45-degree chamfer or a 30-degree chamfer, instead of changing the distances, you can change the angle. Okay, so but for today, we're just going to concentrate on the distance to distance. We're going to make it a certain distance in. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can do this in two ways as before. You can drag this one in and drag this one down, okay, or you can click on them separately, or you can actually write your measurements in. So I want this distance, I want to go all the way down to the bottom, and that's going to be 4 millimeters, like so. And then what I want you to do is I want us to go in about 2 millimeters here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so there you go. So there's putting a chamfer on our watch face. Okay, so now we have the outside of the watch. What we're going to be concentrating on is what we're going to stick on the actual face itself. What do you want your watch to look like? So obviously we need some numbers. Okay, you know, if you wanted to, we could type some numbers, but I'm going to try and make mine just with some dots to make it a little bit simpler. So what I want you to do is I want you to select the surface that you're going to draw the dots onto, and then we're going to create some dots. So I'm going to click C on my keyboard for circle, and then I'm going to zoom in using the roller on the mouse. So I'm going to place a dot, which is going to be effectively our number 12 at the top here. And you can make it, you can make the dot however size you want, but I'm going to make mine 2 millimeters like so. Okay, so there is our dot for our number 12 placed inside that. Now what I've showed you how to do before is copy and paste. Okay, so we could copy and paste them and put them in various points and make sure that they're in the right spot, but that's not the best way of doing it. What we can actually do is we can copy this circle and we can copy it and actually paste it in a circular pattern. So what you can do is you can select this circle by clicking on it. I think that's done it. There it is, that's selected. And then I go up to sketch. And at the bottom here, near the bottom, we have a circular pattern. So I'm going to click on circular pattern. Then what it wants you to do, I've already selected the object that I want to create a circular pattern from, so that's okay. Then it wants to know where the center point is. Where do you want it to revolve around? So I'm going to select center point, and then I'm going to select the center point of our object. Then at the moment we've got 3 of those circles being replicated around this circle around here, as you can see hopefully on my screen. So for a watch we're going to need 12. So I'm going to click up here and make it to 12. You could just delete it and write 12 in if you find that quicker, but you're just going to create 12 like that. Okay, so we've created 12 dots in a circular pattern, and then to finish it off we click enter on our keyboard. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the same as you've done lots and lots of times, is we're just going to make these stick out. So I'm going to extrude these. I'm going to click E on my keyboard. I'm going to select the circles I want to extrude, and then once I've selected all 12 of them, we're going to raise them up so they stick out from the surface of our watch. Okay, so I'm going to make those cut 1 millimeter, and there is some dots. So now this is starting to look a little bit more like our watch here with our dots for all of our numbers. So the next thing we need to add into our watch to make it look more realistic is we're going to create the hands of our dice. So again, I'm just going to raise them up so they don't get caught on our dots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle in the middle. So I just selected that face. I'm going to do another 2 mil circle here. Maybe just a 1 millimeter circle would be better. 1 millimeter, enter, enter. And then I'm just going to make that stick up for the center where, and this is the part where the hands of our watch are going to come from. So I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to click on where I want to extrude that by 1 millimeter, so it's the same height as our dots. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the hands on top of these. So I'm going to select the top of the circle I've just drawn, and then I'm going to create a rectangle. Now obviously we're not going to have our watch working, so we're going to select, well, you can select whatever time you want it to be, so you can put the hand. So I'm going to do my second hand. I'm just going to draw a rectangle, trying to keep the rectangle over the top of my dot that I've just drawn. I'm going to make it the second hand be right here, up here like this. Oops, that's not quite correct. I'm going to do that again. See if I can actually adjust the size a little bit without having to redraw it. There you go. So I'm going to adjust that rectangle so it's the same sort of thickness as the dot that I've just drawn here. Okay, then we're going to extrude that by clicking E, and then I need to select the faces, just zoom in a little bit more. Then I want to extrude, I'm going to extrude that by 0.5. Okay, so now I have my second hand. Then what I need to do is I need to draw my hour hand. So I'm going to select, and I want my hour hand to start on top of that rectangle. And then this time I'm going to have it going diagonally off in a different direction. So I'm going to go sketch, I'm going to go to rectangle, and then I'm going to go a 3-point rectangle. And what that allows me to do is draw a rectangle that goes off diagonally. So again, I want to start somewhere. So I'm going to go through the middle of my watch like so. And I draw a rectangle, goes one side here, and then I'm going to create that rectangle. Just zoom in a bit so I can get it better over the center of that. Again, if you want to, if you need to alter the size of it, you can do. Okay, just by clicking on and just adjusting it so it's the right size. Maybe make it a little bit thinner in this case. Okay, obviously it needs to be for it to look like the hour hand. You want it to be reasonably short, so I'll just adjust that like so. Okay, so I'm then going to extrude this. Okay, I'm going to extrude that 0.5. And there is our basic watch face. Okay, now obviously it doesn't look like the one I drew earlier. I'll go back and have a look at that now. This one here. What I've done is I've added some different features on. I've added some circles in here for perhaps the dates and the milliseconds in there, and you can do that if you want. I've also added this strap, and I'm going to show you how you do that now. Okay, so go back to our original, and what I'm going to do is we're going to be working on the back surface of our watch. So I'm going to select this one here. I'm then going to draw a center point rectangle on the back of it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle starting from the middle to bring it into the center of my page, clicking F6 to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to draw a center point rectangle. Now if you can make it as wide as you want, but you want to make sure that it's the same distance out from the center each side. So I think that's correct, but let's just check it. I'm going to go to click D on my keyboard, and then I'm just going to check. That's 30. That's all good. Okay, and then I'm going to check the other side. That's also 30. So the dimensions are fine. Let's check it in this direction just by clicking in the middle and checking that 15. And then just check, make sure it should be okay because we've used the center. It is absolutely perfect. So there we go. I've drawn a rectangle on here. Now what I can then do is extrude these up. So clicking on E for extrude, and I'm just going to select these two profiles here, and then I'm going to bring them up so they are level with the top of my watch. Okay, so I need to change the dimension here to 4 so it matches exactly. And then you're starting to put the actual strap piece on here. Okay, so I don't want these to be rounded. I don't want these to be square, sorry. So I want to round these corners. So same as you've done before when we did the previous Lego brick one. If you want to round these edges, last time we did a chamfer here, we click fillet, which is F on our keyboard, and we select these edges here that we want to fillet. So we're going to bring these in here and make it look a little bit more stylish by adding a rounded edge there. Okay, and I'm just doing that by dragging in this part here. Okay, and it's giving me a nice sort of rounded look there. All right, so there's our basic watch face. Okay, what we've done today in today's tutorial is taught you how to chamfer an object. So this surface here, take off and put a beveled edge on it. We've also taught you how to draw in a circular pattern. So creating one, in our case, circles, and then repeating that around in a circle. Okay, so there's a few more things that you've learned to do on Fusion. If you want to take this a bit further, what I've obviously done is added a sheet of glass on the top just by drawing a circle and extruded there. I've also drawn some extra rectangles and extrude cutted them through. So if you want to take your watch a little bit further, add some materials and different things, please do so, but it's not necessary to go any further in this tutorial.